Now, with all these rumors about the next iteration of iPhones, it's always interesting to see what Apple can be doing in the future. Now, this is not an M2 iPhone. This is just an iPhone 12 Pro that with the reversed image in a way. But what's very interesting about the next iterations of iPhones is that apparently the iPhone 14 is going to be having a different chipset than the iPhone 14 Pro. Now, personally, I think this is probably a very weird thing that Apple is doing. If you don't know right now, Apple pretty much sells all their iPhones with the same exact chipset inside. So, like I said, I think this is okay. I don't think this is really, this is for the preferred way of doing it. Both these phones have the Apple A15 Bionic chip inside, but the iPhone 14s are now going to be stepping away from that. So, the iPhone 14 Pro, just like this one, the iPhone 13 Pro is the only one getting an upgrade in the chipset. Theoretically speaking, the iPhone 13 is, the successor of that, the iPhone 14, should be getting a RAM increase and could be getting some other things too. But it's going to be maintaining that Apple A15 Bionic chip that's inside the iPhone 13 Pro. So theoretically speaking, the iPhone 13 Pro could be a better phone than the iPhone 14s, but there is already something Apple is doing with another iteration of chipsets that they have on some other devices that I think could be ported over to the iPhones in the future, and these are the M series of chipsets. So right now, for those of you who don't know, Apple creates their M series of, laptops. They have a bunch of MacBooks. They have several different iPads as well that also have the, M chipset inside, the iPad Air 5, the iPad, M1 iPad Pro. There's already iPad OS and iOS kind of, supports for these M1 chipsets. So I feel like in the future, Apple could actually end up porting over some really awesome features in order for them to go ahead and actually bring over the M series of chipsets to their iPhones. And now that the M2 chipset is out, we're seeing a very interesting thing. Apple put the M2 chipset on their cheapest MacBook, which is the MacBook Air, but they also have the M1 Pro and M1 Max MacBooks that are more expensive that are on the 14 and 16-inch MacBooks. Apple is kind of already differentiating their chipsets based off their MacBooks. So I feel like instead of Apple keeping somewhat of an older chipset, the Apple A15 Bionic isn't really super old, but these iPhones are not going to be getting the A16 Bionic. I feel like Apple could end up bringing the M series of chipsets to their iPhones at a much higher level than we ever thought of before. Meaning that something like the iPhone, 16 Pro or iPhone, let's just say the iPhone Pro models, those could end up having the Pro and Max chipsets built inside. I mean, the names are already inside of there. The Max and the Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, those could end up being ported over to those, devices. So the Pro models could end up getting something like the M1 Pro or the M1 Max models, and you can choose which chipset you want. Then with the base model iPhones, like the iPhone, iPhone 14, iPhone 13s, those could end up having something like the standard M1 or the standard M2 chipsets in the future. Now we're on the M2s. I feel like Apple could end up doing something like this, and this makes a lot more sense than maintaining that older chipset that's like the Apple A15 Bionic chip on these types of devices. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.